Well, getting tougher on juvenile crime became a sticking point of the special legislative session.
House Speaker Cameron Sexton says his reform plan has some support from a key player who's often been criticized by Republicans. But State Capitol reporter Chris O'Brien found that's only partially true.
If juvenile justice reform passes the Tennessee General Assembly, it'll affect everyone statewide. But much of the focus has been on Memphis.
We're hopeful that we can get it passed. I do know that it's an important issue in Memphis for residents. I know it's an important one for their elected officials.
Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton has been a champion of juvenile crime reform. This special session, he proposed a bill where if teenagers between 14 and 18 commit any of these violent crimes, or murder if they're younger than 16, the child must be transferred and tried as an adult in criminal court if the juvenile court finds probable cause to believe that the child committed the delinquent act as alleged, and the child is not committable to an institution for the developmentally disabled or mentally ill. This is what some call an automatic transfer concept.
I think even General Mulroy is okay with the blended sentencing aspect, so it should be a bipartisan bill.
Sexton is referring to Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy, and he's partially accurate. Mulroy is on board for the blended sentencing.
I support the concept of blended sentencing, yes, and I've advocated for it.
But to say the district attorney supports the bill is a little murkier.
I do not support automatic transfer.
Instead, Mulroy says the blended sentencing version he'd like to see would instead see juvenile offenders stay in the juvenile system until they're 24, as opposed to the automatic transfer.
We don't want to ship them off to adult prison because then they're more likely to reoffend when they come out. Like I said, they're sending them off to crime college. But at the same time, we don't want to just let them go at age 19. We can keep the person in the juvenile court system where there's a broader array of rehabilitative services available.
And though Memphis has the focus, it's not just Memphis who would be affected. You'd see it in the Tri-Cities, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Nashville, Jackson, Memphis, and every city and town in between. In Nashville, Chris O'Brien.
Another issue with the bill Mulroy has is that he wants district attorneys to have discretion over when to send a juvenile offender to an adult system.
Yeah, Chris did ask Mulroy why Speaker Sexton would say the district attorney supports the notion.
Say to his Democratic colleagues, look, Democratic DA Steve Mulroy, who seems reform-minded, supports this, so, we should all get together bipartisan. And he's right to a certain extent. I just think where maybe he's a bit mistaken is I've never indicated support for a mandatory, non-discretionary form of it. And if I've said anything in the past to the contrary to give that impression, then I'll apologize and clarify the record.
District Attorney did say he has a lot of respect for Sexton and appreciates the fact the Speaker wants to look at blending sentencing.